No, we're excited to get out east. It's kind of nice to get in the road a little bit as a group and bond and compete. So we'll compete once on Wednesday night and twice on Saturday. So, get a chance to go back to some people that I know in the eastern shore of Virginia on Saturday, and our first, or I guess our second Big 12 dual meet. So that's always good. But no, we had a really good training phase. Some guys came back in the 26, the guys that went to the Soldier Salute, and then the rest of them came back in the 28. So it's been really good.
Lineup wise, it's always been walking a little bit this season, but how's the health status maybe?
Well, obviously you saw Terakina got back in the loop and had a good first outing. To get out there and do that right away was good. I guess that was his second outing, but still it was early. His season's early up. We got the Frost boys. Ichimandia is still healing up. We're hoping to have him by the end of the month. Panero's looking great. Chittum's looking great. Riggins and Gaitan are both really healthy. Bachman's healthy. We're still not quite sure what we're going to do at 97, Schoen or Carroll. And heavyweight, we're taking both Herrera and Younger.
Anything you saw out of Terakina and Perryman at the Soldier Salute?
Well, both of them placed. One of them, I think, got first. One of them got seventh. And so, we got some matches in. I thought Terakina did a good job. I think he's capable of separating himself. So that's a challenge. But, to get out there when other guys have had a couple months under their belt, I thought that was a really good start for him.
Bachman said you tell him that I think you work really hard, and that's kind of like that and something else, or his main attributes. And he said, I guess he could do a lot worse than that. How would you describe the way he wrestles? And just it seems like an example of a guy that just loves to do it.
No, he does. He trains really hard, and I wasn't here, so I'm not quite sure what he said, but hopefully it was good.
I say toughness.
He works really hard. He's tough, and we got a really good schedule for him in January and February to get ready for March. And, I think he really, I could tell he really likes the move. He likes the toughness in the room and the partners. And, I think that I'm excited to see that guy compete. He got a little dinged up in Vegas fighting out of a cradle there by the UNI guy. But, he's been begging me to wrestle, and we had to sit him a little bit. But, he's, everybody in our team needs to touch him. And see if they can just get some of that toughness to flow through that touch. But he's a tough dude.
He said a lot of the guys at 184 feel a lot lighter. Have you kind of seen that as well?
Yeah, I think he's more of an 84 than a 97. He's just not very tall. So I think that length kind of probably was part of the reason he couldn't get what he wanted at 197. I tricked him and told him we were recruiting him at 97, and then he got here. And I said, guess what, you're going 184.
I think this is the first time I've seen you in a hat and a hoodie.
It's our day off the mat. Yeah, so I don't have to wear my wrestling swag. So I'm I'm not going to go sit in a deer stand though. But, we give them per NCAA rules, which is a great rule. They get one day off, and so this is our day off.
What's the rest of the team really been like as you guys navigated, the tournament and now heading into another Big 12 duel? How is the team as a whole?
Well, getting healthier, and I think if we get some guys in the right places, I think this is a really good team down the road. Tournament time, it's an awful darn long season, and so if we can get this, health thing figured out, which we seem to be doing, we could be really good in February and March, and that's important. That's really important. It's always nice to win in November and December, but man, they don't remember you. They don't remember much about what happens in November and December and even January. So, man, it'd really be nice to get it flowing in February. When we get to, obviously you and I just won a big dual meet. I want to congratulate them, but we need to get healthy. So when we get into some of those big dual meets pretty soon, that we're ready to go.
Is the plan now with Younger that as long as he feels good, to be full go?
Well, we've got, obviously for all you guys that count really well, he's past 5.
Yep.
But they're also the rules getting ready to change. So maybe we have a crystal ball with the NCAA that there's no such thing as red shirts. So maybe we're rolling the dice. But we still have some time to use Younger yet, and he's getting healthier. We're bringing him along, so that should tell you that we're thinking about it.
Sure.
If I remember right, Riggins and MJ swapped weights. MJ was at 174, Riggins at 65. Either Soldier Salute or Humboldt. Is that
Yep. No, they weren't there yet, but they are.
okay?
Yeah.
There.
Yep.
So, what's your hope in having them swap weights?
Well, I think Riggins is probably more of a 65, and I think with MJ's personality and style that 74 might be a little bit better for him. We'll find out. I'm excited to see how both of them do. I mean, obviously MJ got to the round of 12 at 174 last year as a freshman, so he's proven that. And you know, some guys just by their makeup are better at the discipline of dieting, and some guys aren't. That doesn't mean the guys that aren't can't win, but you know, in all my years of doing this, even at the high school level, there were some kids that just really dialed in on the discipline, and there's other kids that didn't. You know, I mean, I had some great wrestlers over the years that couldn't cut weight worth a hoot. You know, so you just got to figure them out. And I'm not saying he can't, but I think Riggins' personality is, because they're both about the same size, I think he's just got more of the discipline. Obviously, MJ's the high flyer, and you know, so we'll let him fly.
You mentioned in Humboldt that this is a much different lineup than you had anticipated to have at this point in the season. How have you kind of navigated some of the injuries, even with some of the younger guys, getting them into the lineup?
Well, you know, the downside of of not having your guys in there is you get in your second teamer some reps. So there's a silver lining. You get to learn a lot about some guys that you probably wouldn't. I mean, look at the Mesa kid at 125. I mean, we never thought we'd burn 5 of his bullets already. And he did a great job for us. Went one in Iowa City. And so the silver lining is you get, you know, we do have some depth now, is that you get guys some reps here. But, you know, at the end of the day, when it counts, when you get down to the end, you need to have that first team as ready to go as you can.
Looking at the West Virginia duel, first duel back after kind of a longer break, you know, outside of the wins and loss column, what are some things you're looking for your team after?
Well, I told him, I said, number one, your number one responsibility is to make sure you're ready. And so if you're going to be ready, you know, your preparation for these past 2 weeks to get ready to get back on the mat have to be good. You can get out there and try your tail off once the whistle blows, but if you haven't done your preparation right, you know, your effort and your competitiveness doesn't even matter. And so if you've done all that right, then just go compete. You know, it's about competing and throwing the best guy out there. But preparation is what you always kind of watch for when you've been on a couple-week break. It's easy to get chubby over Christmas.
Has there been anyone who kind of stands up as like a leader in the room? Because, I mean, you lost David Carr, who was very clearly a huge leader in the room, and then Younger being hurt, I'm sure kind of changes things a little bit, but has there been anyone in the room who's really stepped up in that role?
In different times, I have seen guys step up. You know, Casey Swiderski, even now that he's injured, he's in the room, you know, hooting and hollering during live wrestling, challenging guys. So he's really, you know, kind of took that role on before he got hurt. And then obviously, you know, hit a speed bump there for a while, so we didn't see him for a little bit while he was going through the surgery. But's been back in the room. Younger's also, when he's been out there, you know, that's the neat thing about it is you see these guys and they don't get to go live, but they're walking around the room during live goes and cheering guys on and coaching guys up. So, you know, and I've seen Anthony and even Chittum's getting to be a lot more verbal. So, but you know, it's going to take a while to replace David's enthusiasm, but we're going to try to get that.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks.